Okay, let's talk about a song that, let's be honest, you've probably heard, whether you wanted to or not. It's been an anthem for toddlers, a recurring nightmare for parents, and somehow even a rallying cry for a baseball team. You guessed it, today we're figuring out the whole baby shark phenomenon. Just look at this number for a second. That's 10 billion with a B. Back in January 2022, the Baby Shark dance video became the very first video on YouTube to ever hit 10 billion views. I mean, that's a number that's just hard to even wrap your head around. So here's the billion-dollar, or I guess 10 billion view question. How on earth did a super repetitive song about a family of sharks become the undisputed king of the internet? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind way, way back before the bright colors and that catchy K-pop beat we all know today. Believe it or not, before a company called Pinkfong got their hands on it, Baby Shark had a really long and kind of surprising history. It actually started out as a simple, traditional campfire song, something passed down from one generation of campers to the next. Now, this right here is a super important point for the whole story. The basic tune, the characters, Baby Shark, Mommy Shark, Daddy Shark, they don't actually belong to anyone. They're what's called public domain, which means basically anyone can use them, change them up, and make their own version. And trust me, that little detail becomes a huge deal later on. What's so wild is how much this song has changed over time. The original campfire versions, they were often pretty dark. A lot of them ended with a swimmer getting eaten by the shark. Seriously. Then, in 2007, a German YouTube video called Kleiner Hai went viral, and it kind of kept that tense, Jaws-inspired vibe. But then, a few years later, an American kids entertainer named Johnny Only completely flipped the script. He made a version that was totally family-friendly, taking out all the violence and just focusing on the shark family. And that brings us to the main event, the version that literally changed everything. This is where a South Korean entertainment company steps in and takes this old campfire song and just perfectly engineers it into a global earworm. So, who are these guys? Pinkfong is the education-focused brand of the Pinkfong Company. Their whole thing is making bright, super catchy content for kids. And, well, with Baby Shark, they basically struck digital gold. They had a very specific and brilliant formula. First, they kept a little bit of that Jaws-like feeling in the intro by using a piece from Dvorak's Ninth Symphony. But then, bam, they hit you with this unbelievably bright and catchy K-pop melody. They added two super charismatic kid actors, a colorful animated world, and a dance so simple that literally anyone could do it. They uploaded it on June 17th, 2016, and, well, a monster was born. Just a little over 4 years later, it did the unthinkable. It actually swam right past the global mega hit Despacito to officially become the most viewed YouTube video in history. At that point, it wasn't just a kid's song anymore. It was a straight-up cultural landmark. But the story doesn't stop on YouTube. Oh no. The song basically escaped the platform and started popping up in the most random, unexpected places. It was a full-on cultural invasion. It was absolutely everywhere. It kicked off the hashtag Baby Shark Challenge online. K-pop superstars like Blackpink and Red Velvet were doing covers. It became the unofficial anthem for the Washington Nationals baseball team on their way to winning the World Series in 2019. And then came all the stuff. The merchandise, the breakfast cereals, stage musicals, TV shows. It even became a song of protest and unity in Lebanon. Just wild. The phenomenon got so massive that people started making some pretty big comparisons. Pundits were calling it the next big thing after the domination of Gangnam Style, which, really puts into perspective just how powerful this viral hit had become. And if you think this was just kids watching a video over and over, check this out. Baby Shark became a legitimate, honest-to-goodness music chart hit all over the world. It broke into the Billboard Hot 100 in the US and even cracked the top 10 in the United Kingdom. This thing had serious crossover appeal. But it wasn't all fun and games. As the song's fame exploded, it started attracting some real criticism and even some legal challenges. Turns out, there's a less sunny side to this whole sea of cuteness. So, one of the first controversies was actually about the lyrics. See, the older versions just listed the shark family, but Pinkfong's version added descriptions. Mommy Shark is pretty, and Daddy Shark is strong. This actually led to a front-page editorial in a major South Korean newspaper, calling out the lyrics for pushing old-school gender stereotypes. Then things got legal. Johnny Wright, remember the entertainer who made that family-friendly version back in 2011? He sued Pinkfong's parent company for copyright infringement. But the South Korean courts ended up siding with Pinkfong. The ruling basically said that since the original song is a traditional folk tune that's in the public domain, neither version could be exclusively copyrighted. And then the story takes a really dark and bizarre turn. In a truly disturbing case, jailers in Oklahoma were actually criminally charged for forcing inmates to listen to Baby Shark on a loop at high volume as a form of punishment. It's a pretty shocking example of how even the most innocent-seeming earworm can be, well, weaponized. And yet, despite all the controversies, the commercial success was just undeniable. It was staggering. This chart gives you a little taste. In the United States alone, the song has gone 11 times platinum. I mean, that's an incredible level of success for any song, let alone one made for toddlers. So when you step back and look at the big picture, it's this incredible journey. Baby Shark went from a simple, ownerless little song you'd sing around a campfire to this meticulously engineered piece of content that was perfectly packaged for the digital age. And in the process, it spawned a billion-dollar global franchise. It's really a story about the public domain, about viral engineering, and the totally unpredictable nature of internet culture. And it kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. In an age where there's endless content, what's going to be the next simple, unforgettable earworm that takes over the world?